Hello, welcome to the presentation of the Banking Application Capstone project for Shadow Moon. I am Shadow Moon, and this is my project. So, first part we're going to start talking about is our front-end architecture and our authentication and app diagram. So, here we have our overview diagram of the application. For the first part, we have our index HTML, where our page is loaded. And our next part, we have our nav bar. This is where all the routing is done and where all our child components are served. Here we have our create account component, our login component, our deposit component, withdraw, and all data component. All of these can be found linked to our nav bar, and all of these are connected to our DAL/APIs, which is then in turn connected to our backend of MongoDB. So our index.js file has all of our components, has our routing and our context provider. And if we look at that here, you can see we have our function for our single page application with our hash router wrapped, as well as our nav bar, and then our user context here. And then here we have all the routes for all the various components on the nav bar. And if we see that here in the app, these are all connected here through our nav bar. So next we have our context, which is this file here. So we have our user context, which we create, which has all our attributes for our users. We have our card props for the various cards throughout the different components. Here we have their different attributes in our create context. Next, we have our styles.css here. This is used to make the nav bar and the various fonts and components look a little cleaner. I'm a big fan of green myself, so everything and anything I do will always be green. So we have our hover colors, and then our styling for our background, which is a forest there. And yeah, we have our index.html, which is going to import Bootstrap, Babel for our React components, all here, and then all the scripting for our various components there. So those are the main pieces of our front end for this application. I kept it pretty simple with the architecture. I didn't have much time to go too wild with the styling. For our authentication here, we can see at our login page, we have a fetch function that goes and gets the account, login, email, and password, and then returns there. And if we go to our DAL, you can see, yes, we have find our user accounts here, returning our promise, searching for our different accounts. And then if we go to our backend, we can see these different accounts here as objects. So authentication is very simple in this app. For now, there's a lot of potential to add OAuth to authenticate and make that easier. I ran into some issues with time, so I did not have the time to do that this time.